Hello, fellow watchers and enjoyers. Ash and Piggy here from Watching Walford, and today it's going to be a slightly bit different than normal. A slightly bit more open, a bit more vulnerable, a bit more personable. But as we have decided to do a Movember campaign to spread awareness for men's mental health, thought it'd probably be a good idea to, once we're in person, to actually talk about mental health and kind of, how we struggle and just generally, I don't know, stuff like that. But it's not really very mapped out, so this is either going to be 3 hours or it's going to be about 10 minutes.
Weather road Texas, brother. Weather road fucking Texas, brother. But on some serious news, me and Ash are pregnant. We are dating.
It does look like it. Look like the setup. Guys, we have an announcement. Our new NFTs are coming live.
And we're gonna scam all of you. But yeah, this is just more of a chill video, I guess. I'll be, rush around like hell filming Christmas content. We also have to do vocals for a song, and yeah, we're releasing a new song. It's gonna call so yeah.
Let's get the life out.
So if you want to listen to just wait. But yeah, where do you want to start?
Me and Spee, I suppose it's just very. What do you struggle like from mental health?
Okay, Doc.
That sounds like a very big. It sounds like either a psychologist question or just a fucking like someone just like a journalist asking. So, in this question, what mental health condition do you suffer? Like what are you what are you dealing with on a day-to-day basis that affect you more than people? Or maybe not more than other people, but
actually I want you to know that I live in poverty. I don't get fed at all. Can't afford food. Guys, we're trying to be lighthearted here as well. This is like a depressing topic, so calm down.
Yeah.
And you may think we're taking the piss. We're trying to lighten the mood.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of deal with hearing voices in my head. No, I get the joke all the time. No, I'm not Randy Orton. Funny. I also just deal with generally depression and anxiety, but it's not as bad compared to that. If you want an example, when I came to the train station today, I walked out like I was a big fucking movie star. Like, look at me go, fellas. And then I went up to Ash, and Ash was like, hello. And I was like, surely it should be the other way around here. Surely you should be like,
yeah, it's quite funny to
welcome to the street, Piggy. We'll show you how real people talk.
Yeah, it was quite funny how when Piggy came over, I'm shitting myself, my body gets more anxious, and I'm just like, oh, I've walked 15 minutes to be here. Piggy's been on a plane and a train to be here. Kind of wild. Somewhat to talk about. I generally suffer from a lot of anxiety. Most of it's okay, but a fair amount of anxiety. Obviously depression as well. I think that's it, apparently. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, I was autism, so.
Also very true. Doesn't help them. Combining a lot of that and a lot of the isolation that some of the anxiety brings probably ain't the best way to meet new people or talk to people. The next generation. Really. I don't know. On the day-to-day life, I am on medication. I take 15 milligrams of metazapine, which is an antidepressant that I take at night. That helps me sleep. And generally, I don't know if anybody else have you ever had it with anxiety where your entire body just kind of like I don't know, it takes this kind of like 10 seconds where your body just kind of gets really tense and then you're like, fuck, I'm anxious. Because I've definitely dealt with that before in the past.
Definitely had that in school. But in my school, they misdiagnosed me multiple times, but it's not the school's fault. Well, kind of is. But
I mean, it's a hard thing to do, really.
Because they'll say one thing and then fucking the doctor will come back and go, well, I don't think that you have depression. I think you just have autism. And you're like, well, one doctor's telling me that I've severe clinical depression. The other one's going, you have autism. So it's like, you diagnosed me correctly.
I mean, I'm not saying it feels like they go hand in hand, but definitely is a different perspective.
They're waiting for my autism test, lads. Can't do a Freddie Slater and just bunk that up.
Yeah, I'm going private, boys.
2,000 quid. You can't see Ash again.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. Also, yeah, mentioned I'm also autistic. High functioning, I believe. You know, it's not like that impact. Well, I say it's not that impactful, but it's obviously a whole different perspective of how my brain works generally. But yeah, I got that diagnosed last September 27th, I believe, is when I went for the test, and I found out the day after. I remember being quite upset at the time because I did this whole fucking big interview, you know, did this whole big interview, and then they're like, well, we can't tell you yet, and I'm like, what the fuck am I here then? Can you at least tell me, can you at least somewhat tell me if you believe that it is true? And they kind of went, but then I was obviously in a bit of a huff, so like, just shut down a little bit. A vaguely interesting one. When do you reckon a lot of this started to manifest really? Like,
well, people who obviously know me had horrible time growing up. Not saying I had trauma, but you know, Slay King, Slay, but yeah, just all of that abuse from like when I was 12 years old and shit. About like my communing day, where I was like, okay, what am I doing for my communion? Well, we're going to the pub. I don't want to go. You're going to the pub. Yeah. I don't want to go. You're going. Do I have to wear a suit? You have to wear a fucking suit. And you're like,
yeah, and for people who are long time to this channel, Piggy fucking hate suit.
You currently look at me. Look at how I'm dressed. Like, it's just this scream a suit person. Like you can't see. Oh fuck.
Oh Jesus.
I'm wearing blue tracksuit on as well. I nearly belong back in the chair. That's not being cut out. That's being left in, editor. Leave that in. I'm gonna do that so you can leave it in. But yeah, it all started when I was about 12 or 14. But it was never really diagnosed because when you're younger, people just go, he's begging it. Yeah. It's the kind of thing, it's hard to diagnose a child because you don't know if the child's faking it or being serious.
Yeah.
Like, again, we'll just use Ash's dog for example. He could go to a doctor and go, look, I'm very depressed. What age are you? 14. Well, just sleep it off, you'll be fine.
Yeah, like, it's one of those things where you also can't get depressed. You know, what, he's 16?
I think so, I'm not too sure.
I mean, like, I look back now, because I'll mention about the medication a bit. There's been a couple of attempts. A couple I do genuinely. But you know, there's been some different attempts. Yeah, and I first. Well, Jimmy had a lot of anxiety created. Like a lot of it is very strong social anxiety. It sounds really silly saying this, but there's some part of me that's genuinely terrified of people. I think it's mostly terrified of the expectation and a lot of the pressure that I'll put on myself to try. Because I don't know if you've faced it, but because you lived a much different life from me, but in terms of having autism, a lot of what my time went into was trying to figure out how to kind of be appropriate, how to kind of be normal as such, you know, try and fit in as much as I could, which I got quite lucky and I made good friends, and I don't know how, I genuinely have no idea how, but I made good friends and they looked after me, and I got to kind of coast on by being the slightly funny but slightly weird kid. But that general process of like trying to mask and trying to hide what you're actually doing, like, it takes a while to deconstruct. Like, I did it all throughout school and then into sixth form. But in my final year of sixth form, where I was depressed and had a lot of suicidal thoughts, because it was a pretty not good situation.
That was Sabu, by the way, guys. It pretended to be Sabu.
And you know, I basically I flipped the switch where I went, you know what, fuck this. All of the friends I had except for Jake, who's best friend, like 10. All my friends except then, none. You're not fucking important to me. You're not fucking important to me. I'm struggling. I'm gonna do my own shit. Became a loner for a while.
Yeah, see, we all had different expectations to school, obviously. Like, this might sound wanky for people who don't understand us, but when you're someone who doesn't fit in and the school wants you to fit in, you're kind of like that piece of a puzzle where, you know, you're trying to shove it in, but it just wouldn't fit.
Yeah.
And you're like, fucking fit. Oh, there it fits. Oh yeah, you broke the puzzle. Yeah, well, it fits now, doesn't it? Fuck you. It's like, that's the problem with school, is they want you to fit in, make friends, so you remember them when you're in your 40s, you shit yourself. They're like, oh, Jessica, remember me when I was 12, I shat on you. And it's like, oh, yeah, I remember you, yeah. Bestie! Obviously, that didn't work for me. I was pretty much a loner. Most people thought I was going to shoot up a school. No, and I'm not even American. Most people just went, oh, your name is school shooter. Piggy. Oh, grand, thanks. I did have one great friend throughout my first 3 years of secondary school, Matthew Brennan. I'll shout him out. I can dox his last name because his last name's a hardware store. He's not like he runs a hardware store business. Shout out to Brennan's Hardware. Whenever I get to plug that in, I'll plug it in. He'll mute me now in the post edit. I'll be like,
we are not.
Yeah, we're on the road to be sponsored by them. When you see a big banner blowing up, that'll be us by them. But yeah, Matthew was a great friend of mine. He helped me a lot through secondary school, my first 3 years of school, basically because he was like, mate, I can't do the drawing. He was like, mate, I can't do the typing. And I was like, right, how about we flip this? And the teacher, and one of my teachers that I had pretty much went, look lads, I won't tell if you don't tell. So he went, yeah, did you draw this, Piggy? Yeah, I did draw. No. Did you write this, Matthew? Yeah. You typed it? Yeah. There's a dolphin shit in the woods. Of course I typed it. Like, but yeah, and then like drawing through fourth year for people who want context is either compulsory or not compulsory, depending on what school you go to. So the school I went to was compulsory. I'm butchering that word. It's basically meaning you either have to do it or you can skip it and go right into fifth year.
Yeah.
And basically, I went into fourth year and I was utterly, because they were like, come on, do a play. I don't want to do a play. Don't want to do the musical. Leave me alone. And they're like, come on, 4 years is all about interacting with people and getting to know people. And I was, leave me alone. And then obviously a pandemic hit, and I will always say it. I remember so vividly. I was on a bus from Portlaoise. I'm not going to dox where I was going to. I was getting a bus from Portlaoise, and I texted the best friend Matthew, and I went, well, Matthew, we won. We're not in the fucking musical. It's been shut down because of the COVID. And then obviously people struggle through COVID, but I when you're a loner, you're kind of used to it. But and then obviously going into fifth year. Fifth year is where I found myself, kind of, because my teacher, I'll just say her name, because she's a lovely woman, and I'm not gonna say her last name. I'll say her first name if she ever does watch this. Lovely woman by Sabrina. She really helped me because she was like, I understand you don't do this kind of stuff. I'm not gonna force you. Do it if you want to do it. Don't do it if you don't want to do it. And basically,
nice to have the choice.
And then basically hit me up with my work experience teacher. Well, not teacher, but person.
Yeah.
And then basically I also became friends with another man called James. James, I never say his last name. I stopped myself. But if he's watching this and he's going to type me a message that I'm barely going to read because he can't type, but he knows he can't type, so I'm not making fun of him. Shout out to you, James. Hope the farming is going well. you said I could work on YouTube, and I fucking proved you right, mate. But yeah, I did have a friend for about 10 years, but he wasn't really my friend. He was on and off. My friend Jordan was his name, and we were on and off friends. Like you do something when you're 5 and he remembers it, and then he keeps bringing it up in every conversation. Like, Nate, fuck on, please.
Yeah.
Fun story. If you don't mind me sharing this story, this is going to be online now, and he's going to deny this story, but I remember this story so well.
Oh, geez.
And I was depressed.
No idea what it's going.
So I sent him Kurt Cobain memes when you're depressed at 40. Who else do you look to? Edgy, well, he's not edgy. Grungy Kurt Cobain. I sent the memes to Jordan, and Jordan, want to see my cock, mate? So I was like, will this help you if I show you my cock? I went, okay. Maybe it takes a wee long. And about 14 at the time. And I was like, thanks. Don't know what to do with this.
Nice big player. How the fuck? That's. I'll be honest. Been on multiple medications. Penis picture. It's probably not gonna get you through it.
I'm very depressed, but this penis is top 10.
Fucking hell.
He'll deny it, but it's true. I was also bullied a lot by my cousin. I'm not gonna say his name. But I was kind of bullied throughout my entire life, and now I feel weird. I'm sat beside Ash, who's like, "Come here, mate." And he's like hugging me.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, no, he's hugging me like this.
Don't like physical contact.
He's hugging me like this. It's not actually hugging me. It's just doing that. But yeah, and medication-wise, I'm on a few different medications. I'm on morning tablets and nighttime tablets.
Yeah.
I take about 3 tablets at night and 3 tablets in the morning, I believe. Yeah, I think it's 3. And yeah, that's kind of where I am.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sorry for that long rant.
I'm just trying to wrap around where I can take this from. I mean, I don't know. I was a fairly anxious kid, not that I really knew it at the time. I'd always be very nervous, would always get very worked up when I had something I needed to do, I didn't want to do. You're right. I always get very worked up. I remember I was described as like a warrior. I'd get really worried and I'd cry. And then I didn't realise that I was very angry. And yeah, it just kind of persisted really. It's never really been something, even on medication, it's something that doesn't really go. Just because, I don't know, there's a lot I'd rather not do. I don't like people. I'll be honest. I don't really like people. I don't like most people. It takes a lot for me to actually allow a person to kind of get involved in my life and actually make friends rather than just a one-time conversation.
Us for 4 years. How you going, Ash? Silence. How you going, Ash? Silence. Oh, did you see that Roger Strongman? Silence. Oh, I see there's a new Simpsons hit and run. What about Simpsons? What about Simpsons? Hit and run, I hear you say. But yeah, it's just, I don't really like the system in school, because school doesn't really help you when you're down, because you're thrusted into an environment where you're supposed to fit in and you can't fit in, and then they're like, come on, fit in, and you're like, I can't.
Yeah. And
they're like, but come on, there's the emo kid. You're like, I'm not an emo, I'm just depressed, leave me alone. Oh look, there's God kid.
That's one hell of a quotable line, that is. Not emo, I'm depressed.
Yeah, yeah, it's just, I for anyone watching, if you deal with trauma throughout your childhood, and that parent doesn't blame themselves for it, they just blame you, but I raised you, I gave you a perfect life, you can cut them out.
Yes.
And I know people go, but that's not right. Well, would you rather have, it's like cancer, if you can get rid of it, would you want to get rid of it, or do you want it just laying around being lumpy?
Yeah.
Like, you want to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's that point where it's okay to cut the bad things out of your life, because typically if they're not doing you any good, causing you a lot of pain, if you have the option to do, may as well, really. Um, I mean, I got to imagine. I don't actually know this, but I got to imagine a lot of the draw for me comes from obviously an early death in the family. My dad died when I was 12, and obviously when something like that happens at that age, a lot of the like childhood innocence and stuff, a lot of that stuff does kind of just go. Like it does just generally vanishes. You've now got an extra perspective. Now it's not really about, oh, let's just fucking play, let's just watch 7 episodes Fairly Odd Parents. You know, now it's just like, you feel like, what do you do? Not much, honestly. One thing I did do, which is why I do love the show so much. Obviously, I think it was shortly about a year on afterwards, I did decide I watched Hey Arnold. I saw the movie on TV, and it's the perfect blend of like a kids TV show. It's got full morals you can look at, you know. It's also generally funny. Got a lot of character types I like. So I did find myself kind of watching that to bring back some of that like childlike innocence, really. But once it kind of goes, there's no real coming back for it. Changes the perspective. I remember people talk about death, where when it happens, you're not really the same person. But because like now, like you'll probably never be the same person from before this person died. But now you've just got to deal with it because, like, you know, you can't fuck yourself. Not how it works. Life goes on. Now you're slightly changed, and it's kind of up to you whether you stay in that place or whether you just kind of don't. I don't know. Things really.
Well, death is like interesting depending on who died. Like if it's a friend, it can change your life. But if it's like a dad who like abused you or, you know, spat on you and hit you, then kind of you don't know how to feel.
Yeah.
But if it's someone you love, it changes the whole perspective.
Yeah.
Like as much as me and my nanny did not get along, and she died last year, and everyone in 6th year was like, "Come on, you know, do these photos for the yearbook." My friend James saying, guys, you do understand he did lose his gran in like February, and they're all like, "Well, you can do the yearbook," and I was like, "Fuck off!" Like I had to edit. You probably don't know it, but I had to edit an LCA video together. I have it saved somewhere, so I can probably pull it up in Google, where I basically had to interview a bunch of people. So people had to go out and interview them and talk about how LCA is beneficial. LCA is leaving cert applied. It's basically you do your leaving cert, but you're on a very lower level, so you're not going to get into college right away. You'll have to go somewhere first, then go to college, because LCA is all about that, where you get, it's not the easy way out, but the more experienced way out.
Yeah.
Because they teach you about shit. Again, they teach you about how to work in a school after school, how to work after school, say. So yeah.
So it's like preparing you for the next step.
Yeah, and the regular leaving cert is like, you have to do higher level English, higher level Irish. You're like, oh, fuck off. I'm leaving this year, lad. I'm leaving. But and it's just death and abuse changes your perspective throughout life. I don't know how to describe it, but it just depends on who you are, really. Because some people can toughen it up and, you know, go, I wasn't abused. She didn't hit me, but that was love. It was love. It wasn't abuse. Love. Yeah, she stabbed you 3 times in the kidney and then smacked you right in the face. How is that love? That's abuse.
Yeah.
It just depends on who you are, whether you deny or admit it.
Well, it's probably it's coping mechanism, right?
Yeah.
Not believe. You don't believe, not true. One thing that I found a funny anecdote. I remember before I got the autism diagnosis, which was something I'd tried for when I was early 2019, as I was depressed working a retail job, which I was definitely for. And I was still going in sixth form, which I didn't want to do really, but there's no real pathway out. Like, you go to school and you go to 6, then you get a job. I guess I'll just fucking follow then. And obviously, when left to myself, mate, to like tech college instead, I kind of fell apart. And I generally had enough. But the anecdote is rather, I was seeking out more insight. I wanted to know why I am the way I am. At the time, I was looking for this will fit me, which obviously there's a lot of words to be in the stage currently. But I was just like, I either have autism or I've got some weird fucked up like attachment issues from my dad dying. And I was like, you're autistic. Like, no, it won't. If this happens, I won't be surprised. Yeah, it's one of those wild things, really. I don't know. I'm now angling towards. What would you describe it like when you're kind of at your lowest? Like, do you default to do a set thing? Have any habits?
What I will say is, I don't know, Ash is probably going to hate this, but there is a brilliant South Park episode, and I know people are going to go, but that's an adult show, I know, but you don't have to like this series, but there is 2 great episodes I recommend, where it's called You're Getting Old, Part 1 and Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the second part is. And it's basically Stan Mark realising he's 10 years old, and everything that he loves is shit. And that's how I basically describe like mental health, is that everything you love will fall apart. Like your friends will just come background characters. All you want to do is eat and sleep, and then not even eat sometimes, not even shower, not even wash, not even put yours in their toothpaste on you. Toothpaste? Brush your teeth. There we go. But yeah, kind of when I get stressed, I default to just being lazy again. I try and stick around with people who are nice to me and who try and help, like you, for example. I love it that you don't help. I'll just fuck right off now. I'll go back home and get that. I'll go back home and down that train, and I'll fucking leave, boy. But yeah, you always have to have people that are going to big you up when you're down. Because if you don't have them, then you don't have anyone.
Yeah, it's like in the last couple of years, and certainly in the last year, it's been quite comforting when something bad has happened, and just to get overwhelming support from anybody I tell. I don't need anything. Nah, I'm good. But like obviously my nan passed this year in August. I think it didn't affect me too much. A bit of a cry initially, and a couple of tears at the funeral, but it's one of those things where when you're not around it, not etc. How am I when I'm out? I mean, generally I default to doing a lot of the same things. One thing I try to not do is, I don't know if anybody else knows that feeling where you're still doing stuff, like technically, but like you're kind of just fake. Like the lights are on, but you're not home. You're not paying any attention. You're just zoned out. I think it's like the realization or disassociation. One of the two. I kind of combine them into one, generally. But it just a lot of it comes from trying to keep myself active and keeping myself thinking about things. I mean, it's why I've looked towards the project like this. This is a constant thing we do every week. Now do it multiple days a week. We, keep fucking active and keep doing something and keep like pursuing like a passion. And without that sort of drive and kind of will, I have kind of just went, what the fuck am I doing? Like, because I don't know. my position on living isn't necessarily the best. I could take it or leave it, really. Obviously not doing fully fit. But you know, I'm not a person who's like, yeah, I fucking love Life Guy. Like someone just goes, you have the option to be dead or alive on the day, either. Like, you know, it's not really something I'm drawn to. Like, there's a lot of dissonance between my brain and how I imagine a lot of like people actively enjoying life. I think a lot of my issues come from the autism and the lack of understanding. But it's just one of those things where, obviously, when I'm at my lowest, I'm very kind of obsessed and kind of tunnel focused. But I'll be like hyper focused on something. Like there's a famous Eastenders storyline called like Stalk Sarah. You stalked Mark. I remember one year I was like searching for this episode. There's a storyline that I definitely over-sympathized in my head. Like I definitely got way too into the storyline. But, you know, I also did it with the Coronation Street 30 Tomes youth storyline, which would use Tyrone. Maybe this really, I don't know, like an outlet rather. I was super fixated on that. But, I don't know, a lot of the anxiety kind of, it manifests in obviously being very anxious. Lately, a new thing that I've never had before is it's kind of fucked with me, like eating and drinking. I'm a bit nervous, you know, because a lot of people describe having like a bit of anxiety in your stomach, which for the most part I'd never really get, you know, because I'll be anxious all over, everywhere I'd be anxious. But now at this stage, probably due to the medication, it all just kind of sits in my stomach. And so my brain's like, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna fucking throw up if I'm slightly uncomfortable. And that's a bit of a nuisance. Because, you know, if I'm going out anyways, I'm already out of comfort. So, they're like, let's go to a restaurant, eat some food. I'm not feeling food. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. But you haven't thrown up. Yeah, you could. Here we go. It's kind of wild. Weird how it manifests, really. I suppose in slightly interesting. How would you kind of, how would you describe, like, how do you see your anxiety? Like, how can you tell when you're not feeling it? You're like heading for a bad
well, the signs are always there, you know. I can't really describe it, like it's something you can't describe. Because if I describe it, someone else will go, well, I feel different. And then our Tory will chime in and go, well, actually, we both have just like, you know, like, no one asked you a Tory talk. Yeah, good old Tory Tom. And yeah, so I can't really describe it, but I kind of know when I don't want to do something when I don't feel like doing it. And sometimes that'll be for Watching Walford. I'll just, yeah, well, I'm doing it. I'll just be like, well, I don't do it, but I don't let Ash down. Fuck it, I'll do it. And Ash knows my experience for it. So, hey, I didn't enter this form. I don't care. Alright, thanks. I don't care. Leave me alone. I want to eat my biscuit. I want to eat my custard cream and tea. I'm like, alright, thanks. Things like that. Obviously, I just recommend for people to be aware that you know, the next time it comes, will be the last, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it happened like 2 weeks ago, where it's you know, been doing this about a month and a bit for now. Obviously, it came to a point where I was just like, I'm not really enjoying this, not really enjoying anything else I'm doing. I kind of need some time to refocus. Yeah, Joey's just starting to get upset. You know, like it was only like 2-3 weeks ago where I was like, yo, Piggy, I need like a week to fucking relax. Because I don't know if anybody else necessarily feels like it and deals it in a way that I do. but I can somewhat feel like like complacency and the depression slip again, where I'll be doing something, but I'll be a bit more vacant. I won't really be paying attention, but I'll be doing stuff, but I'm not actually engaging. And it's at that time where I kind of put myself to go, I need to start doing things I'm enjoying and grasp what that is. Because being depressed is not fucking... It's something I'm so thankful to be in the position where I'm not depressed, because it's happened. Like, it's just not... One thing that's obviously the massive kicker is it's so hard to take any enjoyment from anything. Like I remember I was playing Rocket League with my brother, and you know we played a lot, but I was clearly in a pretty rough state. And the way that I know I'd gotten through, and I'll kind of go through what I was doing at the time, trying to get stuff good. But I started laughing. I started enjoying myself while playing the game, and I'm like, oh, fuck, this is what it fucking feels like. You know, this is the stuff this is the reason why you're here. This is the stuff you enjoy. Because it's like, no surprise being depressed is fucking shit. Because it is just the normal. You don't enjoy anything. Maybe you're sleeping a lot less because you just can't settle down. Brain active, underactive. Like, sounds weird, but I know if I'm feeling pretty depressed if I'm going to bed at fucking 9, because I'm just like, I've just had enough today. Maybe tomorrow will be better. I'm going to bed at 9 again, but that's fine. But yeah, kind of hard to describe how being depressed, and a lot of mine does. It's obviously the depression and the anxiety. It's kind of all in one, and then just becomes very overwhelming. Like, it was wild because when I started the new medication, I would suddenly be feeling a lot. You know, I would be anxious, but I wouldn't feel it. That's fucking wild shit. Because, you know, I've been feeling anxious ever since I remember. There's not really been a time where I've not been particularly anxious. It was really strange to have this feeling like masked. Because, you know, like, my first stint on antidepressants didn't go well. I was on sertraline in 2019 at the time. I mean, I was depressed for other reasons, just general life stuff. I was in two situations I didn't want to be in and didn't really see much of a way out. So I went on sertraline for a bit, but it turned me into a zombie. Fun with it. But when in late or early last year, I got on mirtazapine, and for the first time in probably my entire life, I actually started to get like a nice deep sleep, which never happened because my brain just wouldn't allow it. So I was sleeping so much as I possibly could. Like, as you know, when people get depressed, they just sleep. I never had that. When I could actually enjoy sleep.
Yeah, I found much to add on that. Any more questions or do?
I mean, I don't know. Figure out the blend. I suppose since it's been a fairly dour, do you have like a memory of a time where things were going bad, but you managed to generally kind of turn yourself around and kind of it got better? Like you made like a change or something?
Well, I'll probably give 2 examples. As people know, I didn't really have the best mother, to be honest. Even though if you can comment on this, I've got a great mother. I solved cancer. I'd be like, oh yeah, and I fucking solved blindness. You know, an eye for an eye, a nose for a nose. Does have a big nose, and then talk you a nose keep in. Only asked for that and Japanese breakfast. But I remember I found a lovely woman, trans woman, and she basically got me through the last 2 years of school, helped me a lot. And the more recent time is before Watching Walford. I was still in a place, just when you leave school, you're kind of in that place where do I go on disability?
Yeah, that state of kind of unknown where it's like, I need money now because I'm now 18 and I'm now left alone.
I need to buy the new LWO 5-pack. And I don't have any money. Bollocks. Better send me bollocks. Send me bollocks off. But yeah, and then obviously I found my mojo when I suggested it to Ash, and I know it sounds like I'm always saying that I suggested it, I created it. Technically,
I mean, it was necessary to push, right?
yeah. I kind of boosted myself up and went, Ash, look, you want to do this? And yes, I was stressed at the start, yeah. And was I walking on eggshells? I didn't want to tell Ash the truth that I was probably doing it all. Yeah. Was it just waiting till Ash, Iggy, I don't like this, and yep, I don't like this either. That was the breaking point, but that really helped last year, getting my mojo back. In the last year, obviously, I know we're going to be a bit stressed out near Christmas time, but
Yeah, but it'll be a good stress though. Like, that's the thing.
but I know the stress we will get at Christmas will go away in January because everything will go back to normal. Because Christmas we want to kind of do videos, kind of helping people get into, like, who are getting into the soap for the Christmas season. Because, you know, everyone watches on Christmas Day to see what,
Exactly.
for example, Dad and Angie getting the first day for Stacey sleeping with Matt.
Yeah.
And another one is Mick Carter drowning at sea. He did not die, he drowned. Not dead. Another one is, I'm trying to think of more that happened.
Alfie got pushed down the stairs.
Oh, Alfie, fucking what's the one I'm trying to think of? Abby and Lauren falling off the roof with Matt.
Yeah.
You also, there's what I'm trying to think of. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. I'm trying to think of it and I can't. But yeah, there's a lot of Christmas. Like, everyone gets in the post Christmas. Obviously, one of the most recent famous ones probably be Mick Carter's exit. Because it's recorded before Christmas 2023, and that will probably be the most watched Eastenders episode in about 20 years, I want to say, about roughly 20-30 years.
I mean, what's the...
I'm just saying, like,
Where's the crux of this? Where's it going?
yeah, just saying, like, that's why that's what special be Christmas. But it will be good because the content hopefully will help people, and then
I mean, Christmas is a stressful time, right? There's a lot more pressures to do stuff. You know, if you have to be with your family, maybe you don't like your family, maybe you don't get along with your family. You know, maybe you're trapped with them for like a good couple of weeks. Like, I suppose one thing that was just a big boost this year is obviously I was doing leather work. I've been doing 4 years this year. And obviously a lot of stuff changed this year as a whole. My brother injured his knee, so obviously I was having to pick up a lot of slack and do a lot of the helping for this. Doing all this extra work, none of it was ever really, well, it was thanks to the brother, but health was everything else. You're not fucking good. I'm fucking drowning here, lads. I'm struggling. And obviously now I'm no longer doing that. And like, you know, this year as well, I got all the universal credit stuff sorted, so I now have a source of income, legally. And you know, having that, which is something I've wanted to have since I was 18, but now at the age of 23, finally have that. And obviously no longer doing it was only like a 3-day a week kind of work, but it was still like very intensive, very kind of very hard graft type deal. All the days were hectic, you know, dealing like supply and obviously not doing that, and actually having the time for the first time since I was probably a teen, actually work on myself and actually actually find out the stuff I enjoy a lot, stuff I don't like, and the things I can choose to not do. I started to go on some walks, which has been quite a nice way to kind of decrease a lot of the anxiety I face on a day-to-day basis. So that feeling of being active, which helps a lot. And obviously through this year, I've kind of mentally been trying to live a little bit more. Trying to, and, you know, that sounds dumb. We're all live, but, you know, actually try and make memories. Actually try do some different stuff. Like, you know, my nan lived till like 8, 7 something, and she was still doing all this cool shit, even at that age. You know, yeah, she may have had to like have someone wheel her around or something, but, you know, still was just enjoying herself, doing whatever the fuck she wanted. And I kind of wanted to take a lot of that and kind of put it on myself, where I wanted to do some stuff that I'll actually remember in fucking 10 years time, not just exist around the fucking house. Do some stuff but not really do anything of any worth. And that's honestly where Watching kind of come in clutch, really, because I now have an outlet to talk about soap and to express a lot of my opinions, and we get to dress it up all sexy, make it funny, kind of take the piss, but given an outlet, given a creative outlet, it's a passion project, right? Like something to work on, kind of, it gives me something to do on a daily basis, and it's dramatically helped me kind of stabilize, even with a lot of upheaval going on this year. So it's been really good to, plus, you know, develop a lot of the more like presenter type personality, develop some dumb little work, you know, make more jokes, make more dumb shit, you know, like just become a lot more comfortable with myself. That's generally what Watching Walford has done for me.
I don't know what you want me to add to that. That's all, folks.
But yeah, it's become something vaguely similar to you. You know, how's it? Does it keep you sane? Does it?
It does, and especially because we were having a discussion, like a political party, like for Brexit, or not Brexit, for Tories, about, I don't know why Brexit is party. Don't mind me, I'm Irish. But basically having discussions about doing more visits. Obviously, it'd be me visiting Ash, because I don't. Ash is, I don't want to fucking.
Not very good at travel, me.
Yeah, I don't, because if I had to bring Ash over to Ireland, I would have to come over here first, and then bring him over to Ireland. It's like, it'd be like, come on, pal, come on. Yeah.
Like, I'd try, but it's a pretty big feat.
Yeah. So yeah, Watching Walford has helped with that. Obviously, being around Ash helped a lot. Even though most of it's been online, kind of like the pandemic time. Not the worst of times, not the best of times. But yeah, that's all really I have to say on Watching Walford. Anything else there?
I don't know. I kind of enjoy this.
Alright, we can continue this.
I don't know how much more I really have that kind of doesn't just continue to stray of what we talked about. But it's just kind of I personally couldn't imagine being in a space where I couldn't actually express myself. And I do generally implore a lot of people to strive for that sort of environment, really, if you can. Because when I get super bad, it's usually because I've put a whole lot of pressure on myself to do something that I probably deep down know is actually achievable. So I'll work really, really hard, and then I'll kind of get stressed out, and I won't work as hard, and then in the end, probably may as well discard this entirely. But a lot of the time, I'll get very stressed out trying to feel like I need to, feel like I need to better myself, feel like I need to get into a better position. But obviously, sometimes the pressure is just a little bit too much. Sometimes the pressure leads you to make dumb decisions, get to a breaking point, and it's not as, it's kind of things start to fall apart. And I do generally suggest that if you have any sort of problem, try find space, whether it be people, whether it be an outlet, creative outlet, kind of put all of that negative mode, turn it into something else. But just having a space to talk about it openly, because it's far too easy to get sucked into just not talking about it, and then it's like gets worse, builds on you, and then in the end you just kind of fucking crumble because you decided that this is the goal. You're here when you need to be up here. I think it's also a thing to not beat yourself up about things too much, because ultimately, there's a lot of fucking days in a year. What may be a bad day now is a day in the future you'll never fucking remember. So there are going to be bad days. There are going to be the days that you don't want to happen, the days that you just wish didn't happen. Ultimately, it's just another day. It's not. A lot of the things you may see as being a particularly bad problem, perhaps in a year's time, may not even be a thing. I just hope that with some of us talking about it, that maybe some people can either identify some stuff that they think about themselves that maybe put them down, or whether, just notice things and start to take it seriously, because mental health is some people don't want you to think that it's a very serious thing. It is a very serious. Alright? The average human deals with more trauma in a lifetime than anyone really. There's a lot of bad shit in the world. And, sometimes you just have no choice. You just have to get through it. But just to have a safe space or an outlet to talk about it, or generally people to help you through it, that's probably what's going to save us all, really. And that's what we need to look forward to. That's what we need to try, garner. So I implore any of you, if you want anybody to talk to, you can even put it in the comment section if you strongly want to do that. Maybe it won't get a response to. Maybe you talking about it will resonate with someone, and maybe we'll all kind of, it's not going to be the happiest conversation, but maybe we can all work together, feel better about ourselves. Generally, my sentiment, find a place to talk about it, or at least not talk about it, acknowledge that it's there.
I'd assume you want me to do the outro now?
Yeah.
I've nothing else to add. I won't plug any socials. I'll plug November, but it would be weird for us to go, follow us on all these platforms, guys, like all these apologetic YouTubers. You're like, guys, I did sleep with a minor, but follow my Twitch. I'm painting to make up for my mistake. Like, oh yeah.
First of all, it may be a nice thing to be able to openly discuss.
Yeah.
And fairly important, as obviously this isn't really a side that people see of us. Obviously, we make mention to some of the stuff we struggle with, but ultimately we're not going to spend 20 minutes in a fucking Eastenders video talking about fight and a bad week,
But we'll talk about ourselves for 20 minutes and then go into Eastenders, obviously, because that's what we do. We are doing November. We have yet to take gold, and I know it's like the 6th at the time recording this. It's probably on the 8th or the 9th. And we haven't set any goals, and we will figure out goals off camera. And I guess to leave you to it, if you're feeling sad, contact someone. You're never going to be lonely in the world. Someone out there will understand your problem. And if no one understands your problem, well, maybe you're a cuboid alien. Who knows?
That's the accent right going on. Am I a cuboid alien? I'll never fucking. But yeah, it's a simple case of we wanted to do this to you know, if we make it okay to do, maybe other people will do it. And even this last year, I've been doing a little kind of like video diary at the end of each month where I talk about the month and how it went. And it's something that can honestly be quite cathartic to look back at, because it's been a very up and down year. But, you know, there's been months I've been depressed out of my mind, months I've been happy, months I've been trying to battle off more depression. Like, and it's absolutely wild to look back at. I think March was a particularly bad month for me, and it's absolutely wild to look back at my demeanor in that March video. And I look at me now, and I'm like, I've genuinely improved, and it's nice to have that. It's, you know, it is exposing me for having issues and kind of my struggles, but ultimately, if I can look back at that and go, holy fuck, you know, look at how much happier I seem now as opposed to back then. It's just a really cool thing to be able to mark, you know, like improvement, happier, you know. It's just kind of wild. But yeah, I've just soapboxed myself up for too long, and that is going to be the mental health video. As said before, I do genuinely suggest find out to discuss or deal with your problems, as we all generally need to deal with some stuff at some point down the line. You can't put up forever, and maybe you'll be a happier person or happier. But yeah, I've been Ash, watching Walford. Big. Yeah, just I hope this has helped. Any of you, none of you, but at least it's helped. So yeah, thank you for watching. Join us in the next one. Bye bye.